cakes and candlelight. She's got a new addiction for every day and night. She'll make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. She'll make you live a crazy life, but she'll take away your pain like a bullet to your brain. Upside, inside out, living la vida loca. She'll push and pull you down. She's living la vida loca. Her lips are devil red and her skin's a color mocha. She will wear you out. She's living la vida loca. Living la vida loca. Living la vida loca. Woke up in New York City in a funky cheap motel. She took my heart, she took my money. She must have slipped me a sleeping pill. She never drinks the water, makes you only French champagne. But once you had a taste of her, you'll never be the same. She'll make you go insane. Upside, inside out, she's living la vida loca. To push and pull you down, she's living la vida loca. The lips are devil red, the skin's a color mocha. She will wear you out. She's living la vida loca. Living la vida loca. She's living la vida loca. Make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. She'll make you live a crazy life, but she'll take away your pain like a bullet to your brain. Well, upside, inside out, she's living la vida loca. She push and pull you down. She's living la vida loca. Her lips are devil red, her skin's a color mocha. She will wear you out. She's living la vida loca. Upside, inside out, she's living la vida loca. She push and pull you down. She's living la vida loca. Her lips are devil red, her skin's a color mocha. She will wear you out. She's living la vida loca. Living la vida loca. Living la vida loca, yeah. Get on, baby.
I've been gone a long time, but now I'm back. Elvis is back. I am in the Federal Witness Protection Program. I led a secret life as a federal drug enforcement agent. Everyone thought I just liked to collect badges, infiltrate the mafia. The body swap in the Witness Protection Program. The body swap. Yeah, I know. Yeah, just if I could help save America, maybe this was my real destiny. that God had prepared me for all this time. Captain Marvel Jr. and the Hidden Death. Lord help me. But now I'm back. Everyone can be a superhero for America. Okay. Elvis is back. So let's do it. We're fantastic. I'm in the Federal Witness Protection Program.
I gotta get way down here.
Still the king of rock and roll. America. FBI code name.
How long? So these guys sing for themselves.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Let us assume that Elvis did not take his own life. Let us also assume that Elvis did not die of natural causes. Now, do these FBI documents ever mention anything that suggests that Elvis Presley did not die August 17th, 1977? Luke, I put that to you.
Well, when you closely examine those documents, we can find numerous notation and correction that has been made in what I believe is Elvis's handwriting. And I think that I'm almost positive that Elvis Presley continued his involvement in Operation Fountain Pen for several years after his alleged death.
Okay. Now, we brought these documents to handwriting analyst Paul Wiest. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Wiest. Welcome, Paul. Okay, Paul, you have seen these documents. What is your conclusion?
Yes, I certainly have, Bill. This first one, I don't think it's it or not, but we have Frederick N. Prohl, et al. Elvis A. Presley, deceased victim. This little circle down here and this cross indicates they should delete this, and here's what was written above to change it and correct it. N-A-M, short for name, they left off the E, Frederick Peter Prohl. This handwriting was compared with known handwriting of Elvis Presley, and it matches very, very closely.
All right, what about the one that says to Memphis?
All right, this is the one that says to Memphis here, and down this is also references Frederick Peter Prohl, Elvis Presley, deceased, victim, and down here on the bottom, we see 0.73. To Memphis, 8/15/78. I have compared this to known handwriting of Elvis Presley's and find that this also matches very, very favorably to the handwriting.
Now, to what did you compare all of this writing?
I had a great number of samples of his known handwriting. Number one, of course, was the Nixon letter, the letter that he wrote in 1970 to President Nixon. I had several canceled checks written by Elvis Presley. I had a Christmas gift list. I had a letter to some other friends, restaurant check that he had signed, and numerous other pieces.
Several documents.
Several documents.
Enough materials, surely, to
all
compare.
authenticated as known handwriting.
All right, now what about the issue that Elvis Presley signed his own death certificate?
Well, let me hand this back to you, Bill. Number one, that's a misnomer. This is the death certificate. When we say Elvis Presley signed his own death certificate, it's not the death certificate, it is a medical examiner's report, as you can see.
Yes.
He didn't sign it. This was signed by the medical examiner down here.
All right.
But the name right on here, the street address is 3764 Elvis Presley Boulevard. That, I believe, is in Elvis Presley's own handwriting. Also over here under occupation entertainer. They both match up very closely to known handwriting.
All of it was, in your professional opinion, Elvis Presley's handwriting?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Now, Paul's findings were corroborated by handwriting analyst Sheila Lowe. Now, Ms. Lowe is qualified by the California Supreme Court as an expert witness in document examination. We asked Ms. Lowe to compare 10 pages of questionable handwriting notations made in the estate of Elvis Presley inventory, dated December 19th, 1977, with a known verified sample of Elvis Presley's handwriting. Each document was viewed with transmitted light on a light table and examined under a microscope. Under penalty of perjury, Ms. Lowe issued the following opinion, and I quote, "After careful examination of the documents, it is the opinion of the undersigned that the handwriting on all documents was executed by the same writer." Okay, Monty, you have seen all the evidence so far. In your professional opinion, do you think that Elvis may have written on his own FBI files?
Well, we only speculate that Elvis may be a member or involved somehow in a government protection program of some type. But we know he was a DEA agent. And most probably, he was involved in working on his own investigation.
At this point, I think that we should summarize what we've learned so far.
It has been suggested that on August 16, 1977, in order to protect himself and his family from a criminal organization called the Fraternity, Elvis Presley arranged things to look as if he had died. He accomplished this with the help of the Department of Justice by somehow planting either a wax dummy or another body at Graceland. He also secured the cooperation of local officials in covering up both the autopsy results and the trail that might have led to finding out the truth. Then, deliberately misspelling his middle name, Elvis arranged for his coffin to be placed one space over from where he really planned to be interred. Elvis was relocated by the Witness Protection Program to a secret location and has maintained a low profile ever since. He has continued to be in contact with his family and closest friends and has made at least 2 phone calls that have been recorded. He has been seen and photographed several times and has made at least 1 trip to Europe. According to the people who believe this theory, he may soon return to his public.
How many of you now think there's a chance that Elvis Presley might still be alive? Would you raise your hands, please? That's an amazing percentage change. Now, I've been asked many times, Bill, isn't this show exploiting Elvis's death? Yes, was my feeling. In fact, when I was first asked to host this program, I said no for exactly that reason. But then a body of evidence was presented to me that made the circumstances of August 16th, 1977 debatable. The more I considered what was in front of me, the more I felt that this was an opportunity to present to the world information which had never been brought to light. Now, the next question asked of me, if you're his friend and he is alive, aren't you jeopardizing that same life? Well, anybody interested in using the information presented in this program, information which has been available for at least 4 years, would have done so a long time ago. So if Elvis is alive, he's obviously well protected. Now, certain evidence seen here even suggests that Elvis himself may be reaching out. If anything can be said of this program, hopefully, is that we have left his life with dignity. And I thank you. Thank you, Luke.
Elvis Presley died here about 3:30 this afternoon, was brought to the hospital by ambulance. Efforts to revive him in the ambulance and efforts to revive him here at the hospital were unsuccessful.
Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Will it be the same if I saw you in heaven? I must be strong and carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. Would you hold my hand if I saw you in heaven? Would you help me stand if I saw you in heaven? I'll find my way through night and day, 'cause I know I just can't stay here in heaven. Time can bring you down, time can bend your knee. Time can break your heart, have you begging please, yeah. Beyond the door, there's peace, I'm sure, and I know there'll be no more tears in heaven. Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Will it be the same if I saw you in heaven? I must be strong and carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. 'Cause I know I don't belong here in heaven.
Yesterday.
Everybody loves Elvis Presley.
all my troubles seem.
Everybody loves these songs.
Back to Graceland, Graceland.
Fall in love with Elvis all over again.
Would you know my name?
Kingtinued by legendary recording artist Doug Church gives you over 40 of today's most popular hits, sung Elvis style.
Goodbye, England's road.
It's like Elvis is back, singing songs from today.
It's incredible.
I love these songs.
But wait, there's more. Call in the next 10 minutes for this exclusive TV offer, and you get a free bonus CD, King Country.
My achy, breaky heart.
It's today's best country hits, recorded Elvis style.
My exes living.
You get all 3 CDs for just $19.95. Satisfaction is guaranteed. Call now for this limited time offer and get your free bonus CD. Call 1-800-961-5318. That's 1-800-961-5318. Do it now.
Well, the Mississippi Delta was shining like a national guitar. I am following the river down the highway through the cradle of the Civil War. Going back to Graceland, Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. Going back to Graceland. Poor boys and pilgrims with families, and we are going to Graceland. My traveling companion is 9 years old. He's a child of my last marriage. But I've reason to believe we both will be received down in Graceland. She comes back to tell me she's gone. As if I didn't know that, as if I didn't know my own bed. As if I'd never noticed the way she brushed her hair from her forehead. And she said, losing love is like a window in your heart. Everybody sees you blown apart. Everybody feels the wind blow. Going back to Graceland, Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to Graceland. Yeah, poor boys and pilgrims with families, and we are going to Graceland. She comes back to tell me she's gone. As if I didn't know that, as if I didn't know my own bed. As if I'd never noticed the way she brushed her hair from her forehead. And she said, losing love is like a window in your heart. Everybody sees you blown apart. Everybody feels the wind blow. Going back to Graceland, Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. Going back to Graceland. Oh, boys and pilgrims and families, and we are going to Graceland. My traveling companions are ghosts and empty sockets, ghosts and empties. But I've reason to believe we will all be received down in Graceland. There's a girl in New York City, and she calls herself the human trampoline. Sometimes when I'm falling, flying, tumbling, and turning, say, wow, this is what she really means. She means we're bouncing into Graceland.
Now, of course, the only conclusive evidence would be DNA. Now, the doctor and the alleged Elvis have agreed to take a DNA test for us. We are in the process of gathering those samples. Also, our handwriting expert, Mary Kelly, says she will continue.
You know, and besides the DNA, the most conclusive evidence would be if they would agree to exhume the wax body, if it is indeed a wax body.
But they won't. That's the interesting question. I've had a lot of questions. People ask me, do you think he's alive? What have you seen? I can honestly say I've seen a lot of information on one side, perhaps, that he is alive, but absolutely nothing from the other side to prove he's dead.
And you say he travels, he could be watching us right now.
It's possible. It's possible.
Yes.
All righty.
And to quote Elvis's #1 hit,
Grab your coat and let's start walking.
it's time for less conversation and a lot more action. So the question remains, is Elvis Presley still alive? Well, the answer most likely lies in the DNA samples that we have obtained. Samples that Jesse says will prove once and for all that he is Elvis. We will bring you those DNA results tomorrow night right here on Fox 8 News at 10 o'clock.
Tomorrow night, 10 o'clock here. Not going to miss that one.
A lot of people want him to be alive, that's for sure.
And the results have been pouring in for the last several days. I can honestly tell you, I just received the final results within the last several hours.
This is the DNA we've been waiting for. Tomorrow night
For
at 10.
7
We
months.
Find out what you
Tomorrow at
found.
10.
Okay.
Okay, can't wait.
That's big.
Nice.
Well, the star of Jack...
Telling the truth, is Elvis Presley dead or alive? Tonight, it is D-Day for DNA. We're back in 3 minutes with the results from the lab. Is this man named Jesse, in fact, Elvis Presley? 3 simple letters will reveal if he's telling the truth. Those letters are D.N.A.
Fox 8 News reporter Suzanne Stratford continues her report on the man who would be king. Some painstaking work for you here, Suzanne.
Those 3 letters were very, very hard to get to and to bring you this report tonight, but our viewers wanted it, we wanted it, so here it is. 25 years after his death, is Elvis Presley ready to make the comeback of all time? Well, a doctor who claims he's treating the king says yes, but we wanted scientific proof and so did you. So tonight, the long-awaited DNA test results are in. He claims he's Elvis Presley, still alive in 2002. We wanted scientific proof. He gave us his DNA. The mystery began 7 months ago when Kansas City doctor Donald Hinton stepped forward claiming Elvis Presley was his patient. He said Elvis faked his death and was living as his deceased twin brother, Jesse. Hinton published this book containing letters allegedly written by Elvis, now Jesse, and this picture, supposedly Elvis today.
It is absolutely Elvis Aaron Presley. This is not a trick. This is not a hoax. It's just the absolute truth.
If you're treating a patient, there has to be a medical record. For the first time, Dr. Hinton is sharing with us this medical file.
Visits with the patient and telephone contact with the patient.
With Jesse's permission, we reviewed the medical record, which documents 5.5 years of treatment. Jesse suffers from depression, chronic pain, and yes, he insists he's Elvis Presley.
They ask why is he doing it now, and it is for spiritual reasons. It's not to come back and make money. It's all for what this individual wants to do for his soul.
Each and every day becomes more stressful. He can't just come out. If he could have done that, he'd have done that years ago.
Linda Felix Johnson's another friend allegedly protecting the king. If Jesse isn't motivated by money, what's their motivation? The publisher confirmed neither Linda or Dr. Hinton have made any money off their book.
I want his safety. These people don't understand. This is a true story. This is real.
He is in the United States. He is in different places at different times. He is making his plans based on his spiritual beliefs.
Having heard the claims before, we wanted to meet Jesse in person. He said not yet, so we sent him a police DNA test kit and fingerprint cards. The DNA saliva swab came back first and was collected by forensic scientist Tony Tambasco.
The swab was extracted. It was found to contain a large amount of DNA. The DNA is in fact from a male.
Next, we took envelopes from the letters allegedly written by Elvis to Dr. Hinton. Unbeknownst to the doctor, we had them tested for DNA.
16, 16, 16, 67, 67, 67, and so on down the line.
The DNA on the envelopes matched the DNA from the cheek swab.
There would be a complete profile that we would be able to attribute to a single individual.
We needed something confirmed as Elvis Presley's to compare DNA, like this sweaty scarf certified and autographed by the King.
Really came up with no DNA that was worth anything at all.
The DNA was too degraded.
DNA, as it leaves the body, will maintain its integrity for a long time, but yeah, it will break down.
Recently, there's been a lot of talk about Elvis's hair. In fact, a big jar of it was auctioned off for more than $100,000. A private collector in Cleveland said we could use his hair sample for DNA testing, but whether it's this sample or that jar, none of it is suitable because it's all cut hair.
Without the root, the only thing we could really do with the DNA would be called mitochondrial DNA. The thing we would need to compare that mitochondrial DNA would be his mother, because his mother would have passed that DNA to him.
But Elvis would pass his DNA to his child. A spokesperson for Lisa Marie Presley refused our request for DNA.
Did you know Elvis?
Yeah, I knew Elvis.
He's not a relative, but Nashville entertainer Jimmy Velvet was a close friend.
Faking his death situation was a rumor from the beginning, so of course, if you loved Elvis, you would have hoped that was the case rather than him being dead. So yeah, I wanted to believe that, but I never did.
Jimmy let us test items from a Presley hospital visit December 20th, 1967.
He threw a fit at Graceland one time because the car wouldn't start, and he jumped up on the hood and kicked his foot through the windshield and cut his leg.
We sent part of a blood stain to the lab.
That stain analysis failed to give us a complete profile. The DNA is from a man and a woman.
A man and a woman, but neither matches Jesse's DNA profile.
Where that DNA came from on the genes is anybody's guess. It could simply be that stain, as well as any contact with it for however it's been stored over the last 35 years.
Fingerprints from Jesse were smeared, and portions that were readable didn't match this Elvis fingerprint card from 1970.
It's now or never.
Finally, we learned of a Memphis doctor with copies of Elvis's medical records and even tissue samples. Bill Beanie met the doctor in 1996 and convinced him to have the tissue samples tested for DNA.
Doctor was a super nice fellow. He asked that his name be kept out of it because he has a large clinic in Memphis. He didn't want any controversy that involved him.
The doctor inherited the medical records and tissue samples from his friend, pathologist Dr. Harold Sexton. Sexton had handled 2 liver biopsies for Elvis when he was tested for hepatitis in '73 and '75. Sexton also worked on the autopsy tissues.
To protect himself, Dr. Sexton kept copies of everything he did.
For fear of being sued, Sexton saved the tissue slides from both the biopsies and the autopsy.
So I said, how do we know these are Elvis samples? The doctor went to the medical records, which have the heading of the Baptist Hospital on them.
The tissue slides are clearly documented in the medical records. The doctor agreed to release them for DNA testing. We wondered if either sample would match Jesse's DNA.
We did the tests on Jesse, and our results turned out to be a different type than liver or the autopsy samples. That means that they have come from a different individual.
Not only was Jesse's DNA different, but researcher Alice Newman found something startling.
I got a different DNA type from the 1975 biopsy sample and the autopsy specimen. All 3 samples appear to be from different individuals because each one of them has a different DNA type.
Elvis's liver tissue is different than Elvis's autopsy tissue. Bill Beanie's not surprised. His lab ran the original tests with the same results.
The only conclusion I could come to is that Jesse is not Elvis Presley. Elvis is still out there somewhere.
But Dr. Donald Hinton is standing by his story.
He has not indicated to myself or any of his other friends that he does not intend to follow through with his plan to prove himself by the end of the year, to let the world know that he is still here.
What happens if January 1st comes and there's still no Elvis?
If nothing happens, it would be because it was prevented from happening.
Elvis,
has left the building.
Okay, so how could there possibly be 3 different sets of DNA? That is a question we have now put to the Tennessee Attorney General's office and the Shelby County District Attorney. Both say they are looking into our findings. As for Dr. Hinton, we feel that we've given him every opportunity to prove his story, and he still does stand by his story. The only real proof, of course, is for Jesse to come forward and prove it if he is Elvis, or if Lisa Marie would provide us with her DNA. We will keep you posted as the saga now continues.
You have more of a mystery now than you did when you started. Where in the world do you go from here?
We go to Tennessee. We need to find out what exactly is going on with those 2 sets of tissue samples. We need to know. So we're going to keep pursuing this, keep investigating.
This is very confusing indeed. And it'd be interesting to find out what you think now, quickly.
We were looking for a clear-cut answer. Our viewers were looking for it, and the Pandora's box just opened wide.
Wow. We look forward to it.
Thanks, Susan.
It's really something.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Don't wanna read the paper or turn on the news. Don't want another helping of the same old blues. Don't wanna call nobody or answer the phone. What I want is everybody to leave us alone. Let us sit down in the porch swing, sip a little iced tea, play with the kids in the yard. Hey, it's time to get lazy. Had enough crazy, life ain't gotta be so hard. Yeah, life ain't gotta be so hard. No, it don't. Wanna stop and smell the roses, don't wanna run. Wanna catch up on the talking that we haven't done. The only big decision that I want to make is, do we take this conversation down to the lake? When we sit down on the porch swing, sip a little iced tea, play with the kids in the yard. Hey, it's time to get lazy, had enough crazy, life ain't gotta be so hard. Well, life ain't gotta be so hard. More time with you, less time for worry. More slowing down, less in a hurry. Yeah, 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 yeah. So we can sit down in the porch swing, sip a little iced tea, play with the kids in the yard. It's time to get lazy, had enough crazy, life ain't gotta be so hard. Oh, life ain't gotta be so hard. No, it don't, baby. Just sit right back now. This is more like it. Hey, bring me a glass of that, man. Oh, you know it. There's a sweet, sweet spirit in this place, and I know that it's the Spirit of the Lord. There's a sweet expression us, filling us with your love. And for these blessings, we lift our hearts in praise. Without a doubt, we'll know that we have been revived when we shall see His face.
Woman who claims she is the King's half-sister and that Elvis is still alive. But whatever happened to the doctor who started all of this? Box 8's Suzanne Stratford finds out for us.
What's it like coming back here?
It's painful to think about it again.
Kansas City psychiatrist Dr. Donald Hinton was summoned back to Memphis to meet with attorneys.
A lot of mixed emotions. Mostly, I don't want to be here.
The attorneys represent a woman named Eliza who claims she's Elvis Presley's half-sister. Lab reports suggest that her DNA not only matches the Presley family, but also matches a man who claimed he was Elvis back in 2002. And his DNA matches both sides of the Elvis family tree. The man, who calls himself Jesse after Elvis's deceased twin brother, was Dr. Hinton's patient back in 2002.
Is Elvis Presley?
I would never treat anyone without seeing them eye to eye. And it is truly Elvis Aaron Presley. There's
In 2002, we interviewed Kansas City psychiatrist Dr. Donald Hinton. He claimed Elvis was his patient, that he faked his death and went by the name of his deceased twin brother Jesse. Jesse, Dr. Hinton's patient, sent us his DNA, which we tested against several items certified as the King's, including blood-stained genes.
Did you know Elvis? Yeah, I knew Elvis.
Nashville entertainer and friend Jimmy Velvet.
He threw a fit at Graceland one time because the car wouldn't start, and he jumped up on the hood and kicked his foot through the windshield.
The blood-stained DNA did not match Jesse, but then none of the so-called certified Elvis samples matched each other. And that's where our story ended. Until about 10 months ago when Eliza tracked us down. She had heard of our DNA tests and believed that at least one sample was from Elvis.
That was the original reason I ever tracked you down, was to test against that. I still didn't believe the whole scenario of the Jesse thing.
We sent our reports to the Paleo DNA laboratory. They determined Eliza did not match the genes, but say she did match Jesse's DNA, except not as father-daughter.
He's not your father. It seems like he's your half-brother. And I went, he's my what?
A random man who claimed he was Elvis and gave us his DNA matched Eliza as her half-brother. And he matched both sides of Elvis's family tree.
Well, how the hell does that happen that somebody you've never laid eyes on, that you didn't believe existed, is now your sibling?
Do you believe that Jesse is Elvis?
He has to be. There's no two ways about it. You can't fake the DNA.
Goodbye, England's rose. May you ever grow in our hearts. You were the grace that placed itself where lives were torn apart. You called out to our country and you whispered to those in pain. Now you belong to heaven and the stars spell out your name. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset when the rain set in. And your footsteps will always fall here along England's greatest hills. Your candles burned out long before your legend ever will. Loveliness we've lost. us. Oh, to tears, all our words cannot express the joy you brought us through the years. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset when the rain set in. And your footsteps will always fall here along England's greatest hills. Your candle burned out long before the legend ever will. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset when the rain set in. And your footsteps will always fall here along England's greatest hills. Your candle burned out long before the legend ever will. Your candle burned out long before the legend ever will.
And I just got off the phone with the DNA specialist out of Arizona. He says he believes Eliza is Elvis's half-sister and that Elvis is still alive. He says the proof is there. DNA evidence doesn't lie. In the studio, Lauren Lee, Fox 13 News.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. Lord, I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men remember still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love